Can you answer these 10 science questions? If so, maybe you should get on the road to becoming a doctor. Number 1, you just sprinted up a flight of stairs because you're late. Your muscles are burning. This burning sensation is from a buildup of lactate, which is the end product of A, the Krebs cycle, B, anaerobic glycolysis, C, the electron transport chain, or D, beta oxidation. B, anaerobic glycolysis. Did you get it right? Number 2, you're at the gym and push a 40-kilogram sled from rest. You apply a steady force of 100 newtons over a distance of 3 meters. What's the sled's final kinetic energy? Ignore friction. Pretend you're on a smooth floor. All right, did you know which numbers to use? The force of 100 newtons and the distance of 3 meters means you did a work of 300 joules. And because you turned it all into kinetic energy, that would be your answer. Answer choice C. Number 3, your organic chemistry lab group meets twice a week. You work together only to finish the lab report and get a good grade. You don't hang out otherwise. Sociologically, this lab group is a primary group, outgroup, reference group, or a secondary group. Well, this is not your primary group because you're not spending a lot of time with them outside of this work engagement. And so this would be a secondary group. These are more goal-oriented. Let's do a mini reading comprehension passage. The symphony, often seen as the pinnacle of high art, is not an unchanging monolith. It evolved from rowdy conversational settings in the 18th century where audiences would eat and talk. The modern silent temple of music is a recent invention designed to elevate the composer to the status of a genius. We should therefore question the idea that there is only one right way to experience classical music. What is the author's main argument? Is it A, the 18th century had better symphonies, B, symphonies are the most important form of art, C, modern audiences are too quiet and respectful, or D, the way we experience music is a social construct that has changed over time? And the answer here is D. The way we experience classical music is a social construct that has changed over time. Now, this is the reading comprehension portion of the MCAT that doesn't require you to know science facts. If you got this one, you might be a good fit for what many students consider to be one of the hardest stages of the entrance exam for medical school. Number 5, you just ate a big juicy cheeseburger. What is the primary enzyme that will start breaking down the fats, the triglycerides, in your small intestine? A, trypsin, B, pancreatic lipase, C, amylase, or D, pepsin. Now, fat digestion takes a couple of steps, including the emulsification by bile, but because this question is asking about the enzyme, this would be pancreatic lipase. How have you done up to the halfway point? Let's keep going. Number 6, you're walking alone at night and hear a sudden loud noise. Your heart pounds, you start sweating, and you feel terrified all at once. Which theory of emotion says the physiological response, the pounding heart, and the emotional experience, fear, happen at the same time? All right, now the key here is that if they had said the physiological response happened first and then the labeling of the emotion, that would have labeled this the Schachter-Singer theory. But because the two are being perceived at the same time, this is the Cannon-Bard theory of emotion. Number 7. You're trying to read a tiny label. You use a simple magnifying glass, which is a single convex lens. To get a magnified upright image, you must hold the lens A, exactly at the focal point, B, so the label is inside the focal point, C, so the label is outside the focal point, or D, with a concave lens instead. Now, to get the virtual and upright image that is magnified, we would have to actually get inside the focal point. This is how a magnifying glass works. If you've ever noticed that you have to be really close to a magnifying glass, this is the reason why. Number 8, a eukaryotic pre-mRNA strand is like a movie's first cut. It has good scenes, the exons, and all the boring stuff and outtakes, the introns. What's the name of the editing process that removes the junk to make the final movie, the mature mRNA? Is it A, splicing, B, transcription, C, replication, or D, translation? And the answer here is A. Splicing is where you take out the introns, as weird and backwards as that sounds, and you leave the exons to be expressed, which means they get turned into proteins. Number 9. You get cut off in traffic and yell, "What a selfish and horrible person." You're attributing their behavior to their personality. But when you accidentally cut someone off, you think, whoops, I'm late for my exam and I didn't see them. This is a classical example of A, self-serving bias, B, actor-observer bias, C, cognitive dissonance, or D, the fundamental attribution error. Now, there are a couple of different answers here that could sound very convincing, right? Like the fundamental attribution error is what happens when you attribute something to someone else's actions as if it were entirely due to their personality or some trait like that that they should have control over in your mind. However, because they're describing the split between how you label other people's behavior and your behavior, this is the actor-observer bias. Final question. Here we go. You're titrating a 1 molar acetic acid with a 1 molar sodium hydroxide, which is a strong base. What will the pH be at the equivalence point? Now, you don't have to do a calculation here. You just have to know, is it less than 7, greater than 7, equal to the pKa of acetic acid, or exactly 7? Now, this one is pretty straightforward, even though it sounds kind of complicated, because they told us that the base is the strong one and the acid is the weak one. And so this will produce a slightly basic final solution. So the pH should be greater than 7. Remember, lower than 7 pHs are acidic and a higher than 7 pH is basic. How did you do? Are you on the road to becoming a doctor? Let me know what your score was in the comments. If you are already a pre-med, make sure to follow for daily practice MCAT questions and reach out at mcatboss.com or matinmedicine.com to find out more about how I can help you ace the MCAT and get into med school.